And, you know, I just think that's a lot to ask from the general public. That, you know, close your eyes and trust me and believe in me. But look at what happened in Florida. I'm from Florida, 35 miles away from Parkland. When the first person that told me that they had reached out to the FBI, I was a little like, I don't know, you know, maybe not. Even though they showed me pretty concrete proof, we still give the benefit of the doubt to the FBI. We've been programmed that way. I've never doubted the FBI in my life. A lot of people have. I never have. I mean, I never doubted law enforcement. I've been part of the system. I've never doubted it. But I actually had friends that said, hey, Joe, you really think, come on, Joe, tell me the truth. And I've said, come on, man, are you really thinking we're out here trying to hurt you? And 99.9% of the cops are not. They're just following orders. That's all. And then I start thinking, I start looking at it, I start looking back at my career, and I start saying, wait a minute. Yeah, because you follow orders just as blindly as you hear them stand up in front of a camera and say, well, I can't comment on that right now. I can't comment on this right now. And it's like, well, when can you? 2-3 years from now, when the heat is all gone, when people are already forgotten what the event was like, when nobody's paying attention. I think in Florida what happened is a shame. And so I started doing research on school shootings. You know how long school shootings been going on for? Before the birth of our country. Before 1776. Are you going to tell me a country that can put a man in the moon can't secure my kids in school? And I got 5 kids. I'm a concerned citizen. 3 of them are still going through school. You're going to tell me you can't. So I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. You can. And gun control, in my opinion, is not the answer. All you need to do is a little bit of research. What happens in countries where gun control is so controlled that you can't barely even own a gun? There is people that have gone into schools with hammers and mass school hammering. There's all kinds, you know. When a person gets that seed that they're going to do something bad, they're going to do it. Without the gun, they're going to do it. Because then gun control, all it's going to do is a black market for guns.
All right.
Scott, do you have any questions?
Susan.
Oh, yeah. You're on live Facebook right now.
Well, we all know why we're here.
Yes.
You're live.
So,
What's up, people? There you go. We won't let Vegas die. We will not let Vegas die. We're going to stand up here. Hopefully we'll grow in numbers and growing numbers. There's a lot of responses we're getting from people driving by locally, honking their horns. Local people know what we're here for. There may be people across the country that don't know what we're here for. But local people, they know what we're here for. And they're honking their horns and they're showing support for us. I have spoken and interviewed to, 100 people since I've been here. And every single one of them has given me their input on it. And no one has said, just one guy in the Mandalay, that's all. Not one of the people I've interviewed and spoken to that live here locally that were there during the shooting, not one of them. So that tells you something. But hey, listen, I'm glad you guys are out here watching and listening and hanging out with us live.
If you're in Vegas, come on out.
If you're out here, please come on out here and help us and support.
We got lots of signs.
Yep.
That big interview, Joe, you'll probably get 15 seconds.
2 seconds. The minute I started discussing gun control, they took me right off the air. Yeah. It's just blindly, man. Gun control is not the answer. It's definitely not the answer. In fact, listen. Gun-free school zones. Gun-free zones is where most shootings take place. All you got to say is, don't bring your guns.
Not
That's
the
it.
gun.
That's not the answer.
So, Joe, it's amazing. 39 times the police went to this guy's house.
Oh, yeah.
39 times, and they sold him guns.
Yeah, listen, he called 911. What is it? Like a month or so after the mother died, I think. No, less than that, like 2 weeks or something. Right before the shooting, he called 911.
Yeah.
You heard the 911?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Hey, are you you gonna have like a get together after?
We're gonna go with Jake.
Jake over on Rainbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a survivor of the shooting.
Really nice to meet you. I've been a fan for quite some time.
Thank you. Hang in there. It's gonna be difficult. They punished me for 2 weeks.
So they took them. Well, I'm not quite sure. Did you take them all down, or did they take them?
Well, what I read into it was I started talking to them. They pulled out my. You have one video on picture.
Harassing their dogs.
And so it doesn't matter what it is. When they take you down, you can speak.
Exactly. So you took part of them down.
I took them all down. They took 2 down back to back, like really fast. So I knew what had happened to Charles Walton.
Right.
So then I went ahead and hit delete on all of them. And this way they don't have a video they can complain about. So I'll just wait my 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks they have to come back up?
They'll let me come back up, but I'm going to come up like Mother Teresa in 2 weeks. By then my website will be out there. I'll come up and tell you guys, hey, how you guys doing? Wonderful day here in America. We love America. And then that'd be the code word for you guys to go over to stuff yet. That'd be the code word. And then over there you'll have the real me, raw without restrictions. Now you want to see. There's so much you can't do.
And then so I'll just have you kind of, you can hold it right here, a little lower, slightly lower. Yeah, perfect. And then you can just look directly at me. We'll start with your first name, last name, spelling, and title.
Title, Joe, J-O-E, Martin and Mary, T-I-N, and I am the founder of According to Joe. It's a YouTube channel.
Okay. So talk to me about why it was important for you to come out here and spend your Saturday near you.
Well, I tell you, I'm from Florida now. It was important for me to fly from Florida over here. And I'll tell you why, because 58 people died on the 1st of October that I believe wholeheartedly, I can prove, their deaths have not been investigated properly. I just wholeheartedly believe that there has been a lot of, corruption, misleading, deceiving. Listen, we have on video that somebody's body was moved from the location where they were found to an alternate location. And the location where they were found was never investigated like a crime scene should be. You know what video I'm referring to? And the person? Okay. That's shocking.
Yeah. And talk to me about
That's awesome.
Okay.
Liars.
And then you saying you're coming from Florida. Things that happen. You're just
Yeah.
talk to me about do you feel
I don't. I don't feel safe. I'm an ex-cop.
Undercover cop.
I was part of the system. I used to have friends come up to me and say, Joe, tell me the truth. And I would look at them and say, what do you think, man? You think the police are really out here out to get you? Are you out of your mind? The smile's out of my face. And now here, for this case, I'm saying the police are not doing the right thing. The police are violating laws. On camera here. In Florida, the FBI was notified. The FBI was taken to the kid's house. The FBI allowed that massacre to take place. I don't know why they're not doing what we're doing here over there for the FBI. That's the real crime that took place there. It's not gun control. If the FBI would have done what they should have done, the shooting would have never taken place. We would not be having a gun control debate. I'm just saying. These are just issues that are being created, I believe, manufactured to divide us as a nation. And I'm tired of it. Now, I'm, just a voice lost in the wilderness, okay? To be honest with you. I'm really a nobody. I'm a guy that woke up October 2nd, heard the FBI and the Las Vegas sheriff say that this was a lone wolf attack. And I said, there's no way this is a lone wolf attack. So, I did a video, and within a month, I have 1,000-something subscribers. I'm up to 8,000 subscribers. I'm really still a nobody. But what I'm saying is hitting home with some people. So I may be a nobody, but there's 8,000 of my friends that are agreeing with what I have to say. And I'm sure there's many more, because I'm growing at a rate of 1,500 a month, which tells me a lot of my country feels the pain I'm feeling. You hear it. You hear it. And me, personally, I don't know why the sheriff is still sitting up there. I would not give him the privilege of retiring as a sheriff of this county. I would definitely not allow him to do that. I would want him to see a resignation come from him. Maybe he's the greatest human being in the face of the earth. I don't know the man personally. I just think that the man changed his story, and I don't think he did that accidentally. I have been in the department. The sheriff knows what happened minute by minute. You're not going to tell me you were confused. When you say your officers engaged the subject, are you telling me you were confused? You didn't know it was the chaotic moment? But then you kept on repeating that story. Other officers that gave press conference repeated that story. I don't know if it was the public relations officer. Jesus Campos got shot, right? So he got shot. First, he's a hero. Now the man got shot 6 minutes before. You know what? Now I consider him the real hero. I wish I knew if he was a real person. But now he's a real hero, because now we know that for 6 minutes, no one called 911. Actually, no one called 911 for 12 minutes, because the cops searched until they found the 32nd floor shooter, right? And so that means 12 minutes. 6 minutes before the first volley was shot out the door, that's when Campos was shot in the leg. Then he took cops 6 minutes after that to reach the room. So we got a total of 12 minutes searching for a shooter. 12 minutes, nobody know 911, nobody did. But the sheriff comes on TV and says, with the help of the security officers at the Mandalay, hand in hand, we found the shooter. Are you kidding me? The Mandalay knew 6 minutes before the event took place at the festival that they had been shooting on the 32nd floor, and didn't tell anybody about it. As a police officer, you get dispatched, you dial 911. There's about a minute or two delay between they put in the information and it gets to the actual dispatcher who reads it off to the cop. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. But no, you hear the cops. Dispatcher never goes on the air and says, we are receiving 911 calls from the Mandalay. They're saying there's a shooter in the 32nd. You don't hear that ever. And so, yeah, of course they want to take the radio communication off the air. Okay? That should be a no-no. I mean, you're doing that under the flag that we know what happened. If we didn't have that radio, that'd just be another cover-up story that could tell us in the future that we're not going to know the truth about. And so how do you trust the government this way?
As far as transparency and stuff like that.
It's horrible. It's horrible. How do you trust your local government this way? How do you trust the FBI that goes up there and tells you there's a pending investigation and they don't want to disclose any information till when? What does a pending investigation mean? How can you not give us something at rest? But that's in this incident. Tomorrow we can have an incident like the truck driver that went, like the guy that blew up in the New York subway station. Not shortly thereafter, within 45 minutes, we have video of the guy blowing up. What? There's no pending investigation there?
Yeah, that was my next question. You know, when, especially with the Florida situation, there seemed to be, people were commenting saying we are getting a lot of information about the shooter, but we're still waiting to hear stuff about Las Vegas. But we're getting all this information so quickly. Do you feel like there's an issue of transparency as far as our, you know, our police department?
Yeah, most definitely. New York obviously put out the information really quick. Listen, again, I'm from Florida. I'm 35 miles away from Parkland. When the shooting took place in Parkland, I said, I'm driving up there. And I took off and I went up there. I went to Parkland. And I was there personally. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you have school shootings happening since before our nation was born, since before 1776 has been school shootings happening. The first school shooting recorded in history here in the U.S. was the Indians attacking the colony. Okay, that was like a long time. You're going to tell me that all the way down here now, almost 300 years, we haven't been able to fix the school shooting problem or the school attack problem, the mass stabbing problem. We had that happen in Ohio, in the University of Ohio, I believe, Ohio State, right, where a guy went out over there with a car. Listen, if you want to hurt somebody, you will find the means, whether it's going to be a car, a baseball bat, a hammer, whatever it is, to create the damage that you have thought out in your mind. And those are the people that we live around. But to protect the kids, limit access to that school. I have five kids. I'm terrified. Every day, 3 of my kids are still in school. And every day I got to look into their eyes, because that may be the last time I see my kids alive. It's difficult enough for me to say those words. But I live through that every single day. I live in reality. This is reality. Anybody can walk into any school. Their schools are not secured. Anybody can walk into any school. Listen, a simple sticker in the front windshield of the car will tell whoever's letting this car come in through that gate, even before the drop-off line, okay? At the street level. A little sticker that says, I'm a parent here, just like you have in apartment buildings and universities, anywhere, hospitals out here, crying out loud.
You gotta carry that one.
That a cop can see.
I see that one.
A cop can see. You can see the support we're getting out here, man. This is incredible. I'm so glad I came out here from Florida, because these are local people that are supporting us. They know what happened here. Either way, a sticker in the front windshield that lets a cop know, a security guard that they may have there, hey, that guy doesn't have a sticker, that car can't come in here. I don't care if they have 5 kids in the car. You don't have a sticker in your car, you can't drive your car into the car line. Why? Because if you're a madman, you can hurt all these kids. But we don't have none of that happening right now in schools. The inconvenience of school traffic zones, it has the traffic moving quick. Let's go, get in here, and get out. But just the same way you let me in, you'll let anybody in that'll hurt my kid. And I'm not okay with that. I'd rather spend a longer time on the line. I'd rather, have my kids safe than just, do like a quick McDonald's drop-off.
And, my last question. In the time of our hearing, we've had several more speeches. What does that mean to you?
It really brings up my spirit, because my YouTube channel has been suspended by YouTube over this right here. You can't talk. We don't have the First Amendment. You don't have the First Amendment. When you hear that the press, that they're blocking information from the press, that's scary. That's the way we hear what's going on at home. We're not out. Everybody's not out here. The only way we get our information is through these reporters. And when these people block these reporters from getting that information out to us, then you've got to start to wonder, and you've got to start to worry. I did a video called Psychological Terror, because when you think about this, that's what I get. I get chills. I'm like, what country am I living in? Where's the First Amendment? Where's the freedom of the press, the freedom of speech? You know, that's not here.
I'm actually having to ask you the same question. Trying to see on social media.
And I think the reason that we've seen the increasing speculation, I mean, seriously, a lot of speculation is because of the lack of transparency and disclosure. Because people are trying to figure it out. Because this breaks our heart, right? I mean, I believe that. So had authorities, federal and local, been more open, I believe that you would not see all those cray-cray conspiracy theories on the internet. So that's a lesson to the officials. Now I do some public relations. I'm a former journalist. I can tell you that they should have just come out, taking questions at the news conferences instead of going silent. Because that is from a ex-reporter's standpoint, that raises questions. And then silence raises questions. What's going on? What's going on?
And hopefully they understand too. We're peaceful.
The news is having to share
Out and about in Las Vegas area right now. This is wonderful.
and this is going on. When you have the press suing the police department, our, public officials that should be serving us, man. When we don't get the information that we need from the press, that's when you have to start to worry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And as you can see, we are getting so much support out here. I am so glad I came out here. We got guys out here from all across the country that have come out here to be with us and to cheer us on. But the most impressive, amazing feeling that I'm getting is from the public, from the people that live out here, because these people know that something is wrong. They know that Joe Lombardo should be out of here. He should have resigned by now. There's no place for Joe here. In fact, Joe and the rest of the department should be investigated. The First Amendment, the freedom of the press, the freedom of speech, that's what this case right here resembles. The 58 victims, these people are just brushing them right under the carpet. And we are not going to let those 58 victims go, die in vain. We're going to fight. We're going to come. I'm over here from Florida. I'm fighting. I'm standing up for what's right. This is my country. I know you think this is Vegas and I'm in Florida and this should not bother me. But it does bother me because this is my country. End of story. I'm not letting them go.
Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's going on?
All right. So Joe's the co-founder with myself, Susan Stewart, but Joe Martin, he's a retired police officer from Miami. Right. And what do you think about turnout? I mean, people are really...
This is really awesome.
Yeah.
This is really awesome, and everybody's not here yet. And I believe we're going to get a bigger turnout. We're going to be out here from 10 to 4. So you have plenty of time to get out here. If we're not at this location, we may be moving later on to the Mandalay or over there near the Mandalay. But either way, check us out. If you're out here in the area in Vegas, come out here and support us.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Now, why? Tell me why, Joe.
Well...
Why did you join this effort with myself?
Well, because when you have the press having to sue a police department, now remember, we're in America. We're protected by the First Amendment, freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to express yourself, freedom of information. And so we're out here, and these people are doing exactly the opposite. This police department, the sheriff, this city, these people here are having to get sued by the press to be able to pass out this information. The press is having to sue them to get the information. This is just insane. And so I'm out here supporting the press, freedom of speech, supporting the 58 lives that died. I'm out here calling for the resignation of Joe Lombardo as sheriff. I'm out here calling for an investigation of this whole city by the Department of Justice or somebody. If there's still somebody in our country that's going to stick up for us and investigate these people, because I have no clue who's responsible for investigating these people. Because you got the FBI in Florida fully corrupted, letting that school shooting happen over there. That's, who do we have? Who's patrolling? these people. Who's here to double check that the police department and the city councilman and all these elected officials are not letting us down? Who is out here? The press is not. The press is having to sue them to be able to get information.
And gotta say, as a former member of the press, God bless the press, and I mean that. They are the checks and balances, as is the public, of our government officials. And so that is definitely important to get across.
I don't know who are all the
God
press.
bless the press.
I don't know who are all the press channels that are involved and all the media that's involved, but I know that the Las Vegas Journal Review is, probably heading this investigation and this lawsuit for information.
It's not just that. May I interject?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I have a list of them because I've done some research and been following very closely because it's very important. And that is CNN came out and filed lawsuits. Okay, Las Vegas Journal, there's a local station, I believe Fox 5. Okay, Associated Press, Wire Service. Now that is where all the news organizations join that and share their news stories with the largest, most popular, reputable wire service in the world, Associated Press. Okay, as well as the Nevada Press Association, the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, Los Angeles Times, Washington Post. Okay, so what are they doing?
I don't know. I just know that the attorney that stands up in court, the attorney that's representing the press, is always talking about their client, Las Vegas Journal Review. And let me tell you something. Out of all the reporting that I've seen out here, some of the best and most credible information has come from the Las Vegas Journal Review. And I'm proud of them, and I'm here to stick up for them, besides them, but that's not the end of the story. The story goes on beyond that. And we need a local investigation. We have public officials in this city that, in my opinion, are just corrupted, from the coroner's office to the sheriff's department. To get information that Melissa Ramirez's body was moved from the crime scene, and a crime scene a block and a half away was fabricated. And to make that the crime scene that's out in the reports, that's just like shameful. That tells you something. I can't think of a reason why they would have moved Melissa's body from where it was recovered a block away. I can't find a reason for that. And then to have that all caught on video, and to know that your department did not do a full investigation of the real crime scene where her body was at, where she passed away at, where her memorial today sits, is beyond me. It's beyond me. And so this is why we're here. And this is why this city is supporting us and honking their horns. This is why we're here, and that's why they're honking their horns, because they feel the way we do.
What happened to the lady that said that we were going to get killed 45 minutes before the shooting started?
You're all going to die. You're all going to die.
Significant questions remain unanswered, and that is the reason we're out here today. Citizens of America, Joe, the co-founder, he's from Miami. He's a retired police officer. I myself, Susie Stern, am a former broadcast news reporter out of Omaha, Nebraska. We felt compelled. To come out here and speak our truth, and that is for the victims. Devastating. Okay, the survivors, their families, Nevadans, tourists, America, the Canadians, the 2 Canadians that died. Can you imagine? We need open records. Open the records, please. You work for us. Do it. It's absolutely essential. We're tired of waiting. With all due respect, blah, 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 blah. You give us what we expect. You work for us. Your salaries are paid with tax dollars. Please be transparent. Otherwise, you're going to see in court more lawsuits that the press files. You betcha, because they stick up for public records and disclosure. Thank goodness for the Fourth Estate, as it's known. Fourth Estate, the press. They're defending us. It costs a lot of money to hire lawyers. It sure does. But they're doing it. And we're talking about, I already mentioned, Las Vegas Review Journal, CNN, Washington Post.
He was there.
Okay, some local TV stations. Associated Press Wire Service, Los Angeles Times.
So you were at the event?
The list goes on and on. and we're faithful.
Do you mind being on camera?
No.
You don't mind? Okay, so for those of you that didn't hear, this gentleman was at the actual shooting event on October the 1st.
I was in the killing zone. I was between
In the kill zone.
Yeah, in the kill zone.
Okay.
I was between the 19th shot, deceased, and the 20th. I have videos right here of the glass coming down.
Do you?
Yeah.
You haven't put those up in my channel anywhere, have you?
No, because I
How
think
dare
you showed it. You showed it. You
Did
showed
I?
some already.
Oh, yeah?
You showed the glass coming
I
down.
don't know where I got it from.
Yeah.
But I'd love to get some of those videos if you could.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could spare them.
Yeah, I definitely will. There's just I was there. I was crawling. I was at times running for my life. It was my birthday.
Were you there by yourself?
I was there with my family, my whole family.
Did anybody in your family get hurt?
No.
Praise God.
PTSD and
Yeah, no, obviously everybody there. Yeah, I can imagine.
But,
even I sitting on my couch at home felt like.
Yeah, I have a knee issue. I'm 71 years old.
Right.
I was 71 there, and then
right.
And
so October 1st is your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Awesome.
So I from there I went to Tropicana. So I actually went in through seeing SWAT teams coming out, raise your hand, and so it was a continuous attack at your emotions.
Yeah.
It was not just the 11 minutes. It was not it. I mean, after that there was so many things. From the Tropicana, they locked us down there. And then from there, at around 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was able to get out and go toward Delano because we were staying at Mandalay and Delano. The whole family. I had a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 17-year-old running for their life.
Wow.
My 17-year-old.
That is just crazy.
And we all got separated. So, I mean, those are the worst part. I'm from Cuba.
Okay.
And I was in the Bay of Pigs.
Okay.
The Bay of Pigs cannot be compared to this because I was in Cienfuegos. I live in Cienfuegos.
Wow.
So there was a plane that was coming. That was shooting at me because I was running from my house to the Red Cross building.
Uh-huh.
That was only
the Bay
a
of
minute.
Pigs.
Yeah, in the Bay of Pigs.
That was only a minute.
Yeah, it was only a minute. This one was hours. Being exposed to martial law, the shooting, people on the floor dead.
The lack of information.
The lack of information. This is an ongoing thing that we need to definitely be here.
Yeah, you can't put it to rest.
No.
There's no answers. There's only more questions. Yeah. Every time they release information, I get no more than more questions. That's it. I get nothing new, no information that I can rely on. Just more doubt and more questions.
That's correct. And one of the things is that we come here to this country because this country represents freedom, represents liberty. Mm-hmm. And where are we going to go if this country does not abide by the Constitution and the freedom?
I'm afraid. I'm in fear. The reason why I'm here is because I'm in fear for my country. I'll be honest with you. I am in fear. But I'm going to tell you that it's a common thing here. I'm Cuban too. Born in Cuba. And so we know what it is to live under tyranny. But a lot of people don't know what that means. A lot of people don't know what it means to lose the Second Amendment. They don't know what comes after that. What comes after losing the Second Amendment, see? A lot of people don't know that. See, a lot of people don't know what happens when you don't have a First Amendment. And like today in our country, I'm sad to say that I feel like I'm back at Cuba. Because I'm going to tell you what, for YouTube to take me off the air because I voiced my personal opinion without offending anybody, without an ounce of racism, without an ounce of anything. I got nothing to say, and I have nothing but questions. Questions on how would they let this school shooting happen? Questions as if why would our government not be able to control school shootings? Do you really believe that our government believes gun control is the answer for the school shootings? There's no way. If that's the answer for the school shootings, then why are your police departments so well secure? Let me see me walk through this parking lot right now into this, building right here, and let's see what happens if I walk through here with an AR-15. How far do you think I'll make it from here to the front door?
You'll be dead.
Do you see what I'm saying? But in an elementary school, you'll make it all the way down the hallway and back. And then you can even mix with the kids and walk your way out to McDonald's and Subway and have a burger on your way, while you escape from with 2 cops now, I believe, at the scene, with the FBI having prior notice in September, and then again in January 5th.
Yeah.
Who do you trust in this country? You don't have the freedom of speech. You think you do. We have the freedom of speech right here. But a lot of these videos, the minute they go up on YouTube, they'll come down from YouTube, they'll come down from Facebook, because you're not with the popular narrative. And if you don't go with the flow, then you don't belong. You're a tin hat wearer. And that's what we're getting from people. Or that's what we're getting from people like YouTube, Facebook, and even from our government. And that's fearful. I'm thankful for Donald Trump. I really am. Because I don't believe the man is a politician. And I believe that's the reason why he made it where he made it. Because he's not a politician.
That's the reason I voted for him.
Yeah. I think if he would have been a politician, I would have looked at him the way I look at all the other ones, and there's no reason to vote. I don't think we have 2 political parties. You see what I'm saying? We have 2 political, I don't know, I'm not going to say the word, but that's what we have. That's right. That's what we have.
They're on the same side.
They're on the same side. You may have a slightly opinion here. This one paints it that way. But let me tell you something. For 8 years, we heard the Republicans talk about they want to get rid of Obamacare. Well, what happens when Trump takes Obamacare to the House and into Congress? What happens then? The Republicans themselves backed off. The Republicans themselves didn't do anything about it. Just remember that when you go vote again. Okay? Because unless we change what's up there right now, unless we help Trump drain the swamp. See, if we keep voting for the same swamp monsters, then we're going to get the same thing we all deserve. Unless we change the swamp, really drain it and get rid of everything that's in there. Republican, Democrats, get rid of everything. If you are a Democrat or if you are a Republican and you happen to come across this video somewhere, either in YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're at that you happen to see this video, whether Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. At this point, can you not read between the lines? They're dividing us into make-believe political parties. But they both won the same results. At the end, it's all the same thing. That's it.
Totally agree.
That's what it's all about. So we got to drain the swamp, and we got to remember that when we go vote, because that's where it matters. That's what matters to these people. That's all that matters to these people. The school shootings don't matter. What happened here in Vegas, it don't matter to these people. What matters to the politicians right here, within the sound of my voice right here, in this beautiful city, what matters to these politicians is that these hotel owners fund their campaigns. And what matters to these hotel owners is that these politicians continue to hide all the crap that happens in the city. That's it. So, listen, I'll support your campaign if you continue to hide the crap that happens here. All the way up to the point of 1 October. What goes in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, guess what? I don't want October 1st to stay in Vegas. How about that? I want October 1st to go across the ocean water.
Good one, Joe.
I want October 1st not to stay in Vegas. Those people, those 58 victims might have died here. But I am going to carry them, and I have carried them so far, across the ocean water. Let me tell you, there's somebody from the UK that has come from the UK all the way up here to report this cause, or to support the cause, better said.
We got lots of more people turning up.
Hey, thanks for showing up and watching your YouTube channel.
Hey, man. Why
And,
wouldn't I show up? I was the first guy
what-
to say, let's go out there and protest. You know what I'm
I know,
saying?
you know,
Actually, it was badass Uncle Sam that said it. He did.
I swear, so, the other night we were watching a video talking about this, and when I told Liz here, I said, okay, hey, Saturday, and then yesterday we went to go look at your channel, and there was not shit there, you know?
Right. That's right.
So, tell me, so YouTube just knocked you out, or what?
Yeah, well, what happens is that they'll come up, YouTube will come up with things such as your channel, you're harassing, bullying and harassing somebody. So I'm like, who the heck did I bully and harass? Listen, if you look up the definition of bullying and harassment, you've got to be bigger than the person. You've got to have the means. So this you know,
I'm sorry. You know, I have a hard time believing it. He made that up too. They came from Jake Mahoney.
Rainbow.
You what? Yeah. Hi, drunk guy. Check that out, drunk guy.
When there's other instances in the country, they release the minute surveillance, transparency and openness. Gosh, it was totally hush hush. And I became very concerned as a citizen of the United States and also become a reporter. And then when I saw that the press had to file a number of federal and state.
There you go.
I question it because he seems real, but every time I've ever tried to get a hold of him, I can't get a hold of him. I would.
that's what you should have. Okay. And I send them a bunch of messages, man. Say, man, I want you to come out here. And they didn't reply. But listen, I don't blame them because let me be honest with you. No, but it's not easy. Even getting all your messages and all your stuff, man. It's not easy getting all your stuff.
Oh, you gotta have it.
All your comments and texts. It's impossible. You would sit there literally, and I try to go very, like I'll do I don't know, an hour of YouTube comments. Then I'll move over to Facebook. An hour of Facebook comments.
I like
Then I'll
that
move over
thought.
to other social media stuff, But it's
Did you make it?
Nope, I just picked it up.
You just picked it up?
I just picked up the first thing that popped into my mind.
I love it. Where are you from?
I'm leaving today.
Where are you from? You're from Vegas? Cool. Were you at the event?
No, but I know somebody.
Are they okay?
Yes,
Good.
blood spotted all over her shirt, and she's never been the same since.
I can imagine.
We need to find out what really happened.
Amen. No more lies.
No more lies.
And we'll be sitting tomorrow and talking about what YouTube did to me and what repercussions YouTube can have for anything like this. See what he says to me. We've been talking about this.
Lots of people.
They arrested Mary Lou Dameron at the Tropicana.
It's like they waited for me to
And they couldn't because I don't have the Wi-Fi.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they've got it. They got it off another site.
Hey guys, where's everyone from?
Vegas, South Dakota.
Vegas?
Do you know who she is?
South Dakota?
Yeah, sure.
This is Corey, the taxi driver.
Oh, wow.
Hi.
So nice to meet you. You're on live. Say hi to 116 people.
Hi, 116 people. How's it going? We need to know the truth. We need to see what's going on. That's why I'm here.
It's true. Well, thank you so much for coming out.
Sure.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
This is Suzanne from Sacramento.
Hey.
Cheryl from Sturgis, South Dakota.
You live there now? Oh, wow.
Because of the incident.
Well, it's a long way to come to.
Yeah. Yep.
Hi.
Well, you know what?
Oh, hey, there he is right there.
There's a helicopter.
I've taken videos and stuff.
I wish one of these signs said Lombardo out.
One of them does. Well, kind
Oh,
of.
good.
Hey, so Joe, there's over here, the lady from the taxi.
Oh, where is she?
She's over here.
She probably hates me. Where is she?
Go home that way.
She's right there with the white hoodie.
Right here.
Look at the cab driver.
Good, how are you? Want to punch me?
Oh, wow.
No, why?
So, I don't know.
Jessica.
Some people, hey,
Nice to meet
you
you.
did.
I didn't even know about it.
Now you're here. I know what your belief is. I heard you already. But that's cool. You were there. I wasn't.
But you know what? The reason that I'm here is because I want to know the truth too. I think they're hiding stuff.
Oh, no, they are. Listen, the reason I'm here is because of you. Because I heard you say on your video, that's coming from somewhere else. And I said, that damn right is coming from somewhere else.
You know, I'm okay with people thinking that there's other, shooters and things like that. I just want people to know that I don't believe it was a hoax. I have a problem.
No, there's nothing fake about this.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm okay with you.
No, there's nothing fake about this. I'll tell you the truth. If it is what I'm thinking it is, and I'm pretty sure I'm right about what it is. Now, I don't know if you know me. I'm an ex-cop. I have connections, and I know people, and I've done investigations, real investigations, and I've done real stuff. So I'm going to tell you, I've spoken to some people whose names I'm not in liberty to discuss, and I can care less about anybody believing me or not. But I'm going to tell you the truth. These people are telling me something that scares the pants out of me, and I said to you guys on my last video that I was going to reveal this information. And then YouTube is taking me down. So that kind of tells you. Yeah. YouTube. I can. I'm in too much of a public space to say it right now. Yeah, we're too much in public space to do this right now. But listen, it's a scary situation, and it's not. UFO. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. Okay. There's a couple of other ladies across the street from you. Did you know that? Taking a videotape at the same identical time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I analyzed both of your videotapes. Okay, and your video, here's the machine gun, the further away one. Now I know exactly where you were at. I know exactly where you were at because I've analyzed your video really, really good. And so when you said, and see if you can remember this, okay? And if you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but when you said this is coming from somewhere else on that second, from somewhere else, when you heard it that day, was it to the right, to the left, to in front of you, to behind you? Where did you think somewhere else was?
Somewhere else, I personally thought that it was, I got in my head, and I said this on Charles's video too, that I just got in my head that there was, if it was happening at all, I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was some little dude. I pictured some little dude with a rifle running around shooting. That's what I got in my head.
Right.
Now, what I believe, and this part I do believe what the cops say. I think he had help, but I personally think there was just the one shooter anyway, but I respect other people that think there are other shooters. I'm okay with that. As long as they know that people died.
And I'm okay with you.
Really, thank you.
Yeah.
I know.
People died.
Please,
if people didn't die, then it would not work. Yeah. They need people to die. Listen, the FBI did not stop the school shooting from happening because they need people to die. If people don't die, listen to me. I'm not saying the FBI is out killing anybody, but I listen to me. The FBI knew of the shooter in Florida.
Yeah.
See something, say something.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know if I would ever see something and say something anymore. Who am I going to say it to? The people you would think you would say it to did not come to fruition in the Florida case. Now, as a cop, every time you stop somebody and you're going to go arrest somebody, and you say, what are you doing this for, man? You know what that person says to you? This is the first time I ever do anything like this. Okay? So this is like a known thing, man. If you're busted for something, this is the first time we got you. It ain't the first time you've done it. You see what I'm saying? Now, there is those chance, there is a slim chance that this is the first time you ever do it. And you just had the luck that you got busted on your first time. But it ain't too many times that happens. So when the FBI comes up and drops the ball on this, the question is, how many more balls have they dropped that we don't know about?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
And now to me, this is a very important ball to drop because this is a school. I'm a parent. I got 3 little ones in school still. I want to know what's there to protect my kids if not the FBI? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, where else can we go? I mean, who's going to investigate the corruption here if there was corruption? Let's just say, let's stay real neutral. But if there was corruption here, who's going to investigate that corruption if the FBI we can trust on? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so when you put all of this together and you say to yourself, well, why did you not stop the shooting in that school? Yet, at the very hour that the shooting is taking place, there's a man in Congress, which was my first video off the air within hours. There's a man in Congress saying 19 school shootings this year, and we haven't gotten to March yet. And I fell off my chair and I said, have I been so consumed with Vegas that there has been 19 school shootings and I haven't even seen them? I haven't even heard of them? Has Vegas really consumed me this much? So I go and I investigate. And you know what a school shooting is concerned or counted as? You know, a drug deal that went on at 3 o'clock in the morning where 2 drug dealers shot each other, you know, at a school ground. You know, or one guy chased the other guy 3 blocks and they end up at a school ground and the shooting then takes place there at 5 o'clock in the morning. And a guy that drove into a school parking lot to commit suicide at 12:35 a.m. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are you serious? Are you really sitting there lying to us this way? You know, that guy is doing that at the very moment because on that same speech he says, if you turn on your TV right this minute, if you turn on your TV, you're going to see kids running for their lives in Florida. And it's like, how dare you? The blood is not running out of their veins yet. They haven't stopped running out of their veins, and you're already up here doing this? To me personally, what's happening in our country is a scary time in history, man. It's a scary time in history. So, looking at your videotape, the ladies, it's mind-blowing that your videotapes take place at the same time. And you're both 100 and I think it was 1,580 feet away from each other. Okay? And you hear the sound before she hears the sound because when you synchronize both videos,
Have you done that?
yes, when you synchronize both videos and you start both videos, now you started recording, I think, before they did, or they started recording before you did, but I had to find the same spot and then cut the video, and now you both start in the same identical spot. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now moving forward from that spot, you hear that gunshot before they hear the gunshot by 1 second. So now if you calculate the speed of sound, you say to yourself, well, they are exactly this far from you. You see what I'm saying? And then that says that the shooter, I don't know where that shooter is at, but that shooter is west of your location. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Now, listen, I'm over here yesterday, and I'm looking at the fence, and I'm going around like if I'm assigned to this investigation, 4 months later, and I'm looking around that fence, and I'm trying to find just any evidence. And I find this bullet hole on the fence. And directly behind that bullet hole, there's a metal post. Something like, I don't know, I just saw some yellow ones somewhere around here. Concrete in it, and it's metal, and it's got concrete, filled with concrete in it. And right down from that bullet hole on the fence, there's a hit on that post, right? So I got it on video. I took pictures of it. But either way. Then I go and I follow that, the trajectory of that bullet, and that bullet's coming ground level from the VIP section on the other side, from the bleachers, from back where the Luxury Hotel is at. It's directly across from that bullet hole. But when I look at the Mandalay from that hole, just to give the benefit of the doubt, a ricochet, just to give and you look over that way, you don't see the Mandalay. So you say to yourself, well, how did this bullet get here from the Mandalay? So I'm looking to see if there's anything that would have deflected that bullet to make that bullet go through there, you see? And I can't find anything. Now, between you and I'm thinking that was a war zone, so I'm just thinking out loud here, right? Maybe a cop accidentally discharged. There was a cop saying that there was shots coming from gate 7. Maybe he saw something and took a shot at it. You see what I'm saying? But if that's the case, why don't you tell me that? Right. Why don't you just be open, man? Because I'm out here and I'm looking at this, so then I have somebody. If you walk around the whole perimeter fence, the fence on Las Vegas Boulevard, the brown concrete fence there, right? The brick one. I can't find. Listen, I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's 1 or 2 bullet impacts on that fence. But I walked around and I searched for those bullet impacts, and I can't find them on that fence. But when you turn the corner, when you take a left and you go behind the stage, now over there's a bunch of impacts. And now some of those impacts, they look like they're coming from the Mandalay, or that area from the Mandalay. But other of those impacts look like they're coming from right behind me, from those 2 towers that are not finished, that area, but not from up top, from like ground level. And you see them. You see where the bullets hit that fence, that wall. But then there's a little corner there, and there's homeless people that sleep right in there. Little pockets like this. You know what I'm talking about? Where the fence, there's 2 sides here, and then the fence back here again, right? Well, where the fence meets right here, there's a bullet hole here and a bullet hole here. Now, the Mandalay is there. So how, from the Mandalay, did a bullet hit that wall? That, to me...
We have the tiniest protester.
So,
hi, little guy.
I show them to you right now. When we get out of here, I have them on my phone. I might have downloaded them because I wanted to empty the phone out for this. But they may be in the phone, and if they are in there, I show them to you. I don't know if you took. Did you take pictures of that where the homeless people were sleeping?
I think so. I think I might have.
We're supposed to go over there after here, and I'd love to do that with you guys so that we can look around the area, and you're going to see how many bullet impacts, and you yourself can say whether or not and where it came from. Just like the one that Mike Turber and Laura Loomer looked at. And they're saying that it hit the ground, and he bounced off the ground, and he hit that, Well, first of all, bullets don't ricochet that way. Okay? Bullets don't ricochet like you think they do, like the cartoons or anything like that. When a bullet hits a hard surface, it just planes out. The force of the bullet keeps that bullet going right above the surface. So if a bullet hits right here, you see his foot over there, his shoe, that may be what it'll hit. It won't hit like his belly. That's not, bullets don't ricochet like that.
Joe, where do you think that shot came from then?
That shot, if that shot is a ricochet, and I think it is,
right.
That ricocheted off of a car maybe, or maybe that fence, or maybe that brick wall where
the corner
where Hannity did his interview from. Okay, that fence there, that area there,
right.
Because that's kind of like level. So when a bullet hits and it's coming in like this, and it hits, it doesn't bounce back up like a pinball. It hits and it just continues to go this way now until it hits something else. And that bullet hits that wall this way, like in an angle, but it's an upward motion.
Upward motion.
And if you follow it, it jumps back off of it. And when it jumps back off of it, then you're going to see maybe 2 inches off of the metal
Right.
on the wall, a bullet impact, right? You know, grab that stick, take it with you over there,
Yeah.
and you can put that stick and you can see exactly where that bullet ended up.
I might have a picture so you can show people.
Did you look? You go there too?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been all over. My brother-in-law
You're talking about this one?
is security at Mandalay Bay.
Oh, is he really? What
Yeah.
does he say?
Well, he doesn't say a lot. He's just
Yeah, see, that's not.
Yeah.
There's more.
Not too.
Oh, because
Yeah,
the
that's
lock
it.
screen.
Hold on.
Hold
He
on.
told me there's some things that he can't say, but there was other things going on in there that people don't know about, he said. And so...
Hold on, let's show the live people.
I don't get that.
Make it smaller.
I don't get it. But either way, that's. I think is that the same shot?
The one that hit the
Or
wall?
is that the one on the top?
That's the one on. No, that's the one that has the trajectory.
This one right here is the one I want to see.
Yeah.
See that gun? See how it's coming from down
Right,
up?
yeah.
It's coming from down up. But I'm going to do a video on this, guys. You know, I'm going to do a video on this. But it's coming from down up. It's projecting upward.
Right.
Now, if you follow that,
Hi, Milo.
mine says that it hits another part up here in the wall, on the same door. And it just doesn't.
Oh, you didn't see anything.
No, there is something there. But there's no way that this bullet goes from here
To where he
and then it has like a 90-degree turn. But if you follow the trajectory of this, it'll hit the wall, and you'll see where the bullet hits the wall. I mean, it's got a perfectly bullet strike on that wall.
See, I didn't see that.
That wall right there, right behind it, right there. That wall right there has a bullet strike.
Yeah,
on it.
Keith, we're gonna do a video on that.
See, that
it's
right
hard
there
to
is
see
not
on the
the
cell
same bullet.
phone. But I think Joe posted it on
see
his
that right
Facebook page
So
or
that,
Facebook group.
This here is too up. There's no way that this bullet hit that. That's a different, altogether bullet if it's a bullet at all.
Well, there's only one mark there.
He's going over the bullet mark that was found on the garage where
On that door, there's 2 marks.
where Melissa was found.
Yeah. This is Melissa. You know Melissa Ramirez. You know the story behind Melissa, this lady. You don't know the story behind this lady?
No.
So this lady is caught on video. See, there's a video camera right on that parking lot. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a video camera right on that parking lot.
Yeah, the security cameras.
Awesome.
That's where that lady was shot there in that parking lot. They just left.
Well, we don't know if she was shot there. That's where she died.
Did you see the spots? I got pictures of the spots, like where that truck was and that one dead body was. Just
Yeah, that's it. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm walking
there's
at. I'm
still
standing right
spots
over
there.
it. Yeah. So this lady's dragged right to there, but she's alive.
Oh, yeah.
She's alive, and they treat her and they give her CPR there. Okay, and then she dies there. Well, the whole area where they dragged her from and to, that's a crime scene. That whole area is a crime scene. Okay, and did you guys notice that? Check this out. Look at that. Yeah, slow motion. Anyways, but that whole area is a crime scene. Now, you know, any cop here, you stop them walking out the door and ask them, say, hey, man, if tomorrow morning you find a dead body right there, right against that post, right there, okay? Is that a crime scene? Does it get all roped up? Like every car in that parking lot. Like I show up 5 minutes after you and I say, that white car's my car, officer, and I got to go. Are you going to let me pull it out of there? Or am I going to have to wait for homicide and for you to clear that crime scene? Well, nobody did that for Melissa. You see? And so this is what's happening here. If you didn't do this for Melissa, how do we trust you did that for any of the 58 victims? And if you did not do that for the 58 victims, if you moved all these bodies around and shuffled them around, then how the hell do you know where the trajectory of the bullet came from? Well, how can you tell me that if a bullet struck me here, that bullet came from the Mandalay, or did it come from that side? Where did it come from? I got somebody that was in the concert, and he was here, and his mother was here next to him, and to the left of him, there is a guy, and to the left of the guy is the guy's wife. Now, the guy's wife is shorter than the guy, and they're both standing there watching the concert. And the guy, the witness that I'm talking to, well, he's over here to the right of all these people, and they're standing in front of the stage, and they're viewing the concert. When the first, those first two faint shots that people call firecrackers and all that, those two first shots hit. One of those shots hit the lady, and then the guy. Now, she is shorter than he is, okay? And the bullet came through her, like hit her here, came out through here and hit me here. You see what I'm saying? What's the trajectory of that bullet? That was somebody who was laying down. I can't tell you where that person was at, but I can tell you that witness heard and saw her, heard and saw him fall over to on top of him and his mom when the first shots took place up in the front of them. Yeah.
Was it coming from the left? Because
he said he came. They're facing the stage. He said it came from the left, from the VIP area. He said when he looked over that way, he could see the VIP area, and he grabbed his mother, and they went past the fence under the stage. And he is the same guy that comes out later and goes up to people and he says, "Let me see your injuries." He's not injured. I don't see no blood. And he moves on to the next person. That's the same guy. That guy right there was talking to me. Yeah. Same guy.
But then it's coming from the left side.
He said he came from the left side, yeah. And he said, I didn't get shot. They got shot right next to me. If it would have been coming from the Mandalay, it would have hit me and then them. But it didn't hit me, it hit them.
Yeah, because that other side over there is where the empty lot in the church, and then
That's right.
back over there
That's where
is
Danny
alley.
ran from. The fuel tanks are over there.
Right.
Now, the other fuel tank has something up there, too. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
The second fuel tank?
Mainstream media showed that. What do you mean has something?
I haven't seen that since yesterday that I was in front of those fuel
No, I didn't
tanks.
see that because I was over there. I took the picture of the one there and then the one on the
No,
left.
the tank to the right of that.
To the left of that.
It has something on it. I don't know what it is. You got to come up there and look at it, but it looks like, something. Again, you got to believe and trust the FBI and the police. Went up there and checked and see what that was, and it wasn't anything. But then there's so many other questions. How do you trust them? I mean, Melissa's body was moved from here, and now they're saying that she was found over there, but we know that's not true. She was found here. We have it on camera, on video. And we know they didn't do an investigation to her crime scene. So how do you trust?
When was Hannity over there? Like the day after?
Hannity was there the day after.
Right there in that same spot.
Yeah. Same spot. Yeah, so it was never investigated. Not only was it never investigated, but you could literally see. Now, let's say that they didn't investigate it because they knew that the evidence had been tampered with already. They knew that the scene had been corrupted because of all the people that walked through there. They said to themselves, there's no purpose in even doing an investigation here, guys. Just carry her and take her over there to the rest of the body. I'm okay with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like it, but I'm okay with it. But for you to lie in the police report and say that the body was found over there?
Yeah.
For you not to even look at the video camera and come back and ask the owner of that video camera, "Hey man, can I look at this video camera?" Why? Well, we had a massive shooting here. We need to rule out the possibility of a second shooter.
And how long?
And we found a dead body in your parking lot, and we need to look at that camera because it was that lady right here. You know what I'm saying?
How long was it after? It was like how long after before they came and got that body?
Oh, it was like 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that. Yeah,
long time.
2-3 hours. There was people with her, and then finally everybody just left her for a while. She just laying there.
Well, the family went to get the cops, and the cops came back with the family, but then they left her, and then you could see one of the family members that was one of the ones that went to get the cops. When the cops showed up and they see her body, and then there's another victim there, the cop goes, takes off to the other victim, and the family member grabs the cop and pulls the cop back, and the cop pulls his hands off, and then they have like an exchange of words, like, "Hey, I came to get you for my family, my sister or whoever, my wife, whoever." You know what I'm saying? And so at that point, you know, I guess the cop might have said to him, listen, your loved one is passed away. I can't help her, but I can help this lady. She's still alive. And so maybe that's the reason why the guy said, you know, maybe that makes sense. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I can tell you what's on video, and I can tell you there was no crime scene investigation done.
Not at all.
And that's on video.
I saw you on there.
You
I
know?
think it was the next day or so they come and clean the parking lot.
Well, Hannity had an interview there. The very next day, Hannity had an interview right there, and I figured that out with that video. Remember, I broke it down. I was like, who the heck is that? And then I figured out because the Fox News thing was there. Yeah, crazy enough, man. Let me come with you. Oh, did she? Oh, man, you gotta say you're my hero.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Yeah. But they're gone now that you found his page.
Oh, hi, Corey. Now that you know who I am, how are you? Good, how are you, Joe?
I'm the one that always talks in there because I was there. The survivor.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about
Yeah,
you.
You gotta know the name on the YouTuber name.
Yeah, I was already many times on.
Tell me, because I'm like so many people.
I did a
And I was going around to all the, you know, when you see them
Great guy.
investigating,
His channel went
and all
down.
I found were the conspiracy
But I'm
theorists.
hooking him up. now.
And that's
Right.
Do you
So-
know who he is? Yes,
I
I
don't.
like him, but
You do. I'm Mr. Burgundy.
Hey!
I like this stuff.
I know, right?
I like this stuff. So you guys together?
Oh, we are here.
here,
Yeah.
The thing that I always is
Fire the liar!
all right, so why don't we start out with truth, transparency, government works for us. Truth, transparency.
I like fire the liar better.
Transparency.
Yeah.
He ain't here? He'll be here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
You know, he probably flew in last night. Did he fly?
I don't know. He had a video up, showed his room.
What time did he have the video up?
I believe that there's going to be
It was daylight, so it must have been.
Oh, so it was early enough. So he should be here in a minute now. You know, you never know.
Oh, God.
Maybe he's waiting to see if I get shot, and then he...
But Joe's still alive.
Yeah.
I want him.
There he is.
Oh, there's old Jake.
Speaking of the
I
devil.
want the motherfucker disturbed.
Who?
I want to get him in
Jake.
his skin.
Oh.
I live in Boulder City.
Hey, Joe, would you mind saying a quick deal again? I just got this microphone right here the other day.
Jake's here. He was hiding behind my sign.
But listen, if you hear popping noises, they're not fireworks.
Look out! Oh my lord.
Joe's right here.
Why is he so
Anybody that's like.
Close your flash.
Very tiring.
If he hit that power line, we'd have all been dead.
20 hours?
Oh, gosh, I had 5 hours, the longest stretch of my flight, because I had a connecting flight, and it was 5 hours, and I thought I was going to die in there. I just couldn't take it, man. I can imagine. Well, thank you so much for coming all the way over here, across the pond, as they call it.
Not a problem. I worked as a salesman in
UK, all the way
software in Brazil.
And we got to meet, we got to talk.
So I had to learn how to speak Portuguese. I had learned some Spanish before that.
I'm leaving shortly. Well, we're meeting with Jake.
So I had a very limited
After
vocabulary.
here.
I'm in the middle of this meeting.
Are we
senior officials
going to have dinner with him or something, rather?
Yeah, they were having like an after thing at 5.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing afterwards. But shortly thereafter, I'm taking off because I got a red eye back to Florida. Because I got a meeting tomorrow noon
Yes.
with my attorney. So I know you're watching. I know you're watching.
Ramsey's film. His associate producer is my son's lawyer. My son was arrested for legally using.
So we gotta walk. We gotta talk.
In
I want to
protest
talk to you.
of a
I hate what they did to Charles.
with Ramsey. I just came because I'm Facebook friends with Ramsey. My son's lawyer is closer friends with Ramsey than I am by far. I mean, being the associate producer. Stephen Stubbs is the associate producer of what happened in Vegas. Never done it before. And he's also my kid's lawyer. So I figured I should show up today.
Whoa. We never talked about gun control.
No, that's what I'm saying. Gun control's a bad idea.
We spoke about a lot of things, but we didn't speak about gun control. Now let me tell you,
a really bad idea. Because let's see. Here are people that want gun control. Let me describe it in short order. The same people that are calling Donald Trump Hitler want nobody but police and the military to have guns. This makes a lot of fucking sense, right? No, it doesn't. It makes no sense at all.
Can I beep you?
You can beep.
Beep. Yeah, that would have been me.
You should have beeped me out.
I would have beeped you.
Freaking hilarious. Beep. This makes no sense.
I would have played you, but I would have beeped you.
Didn't this work out? Does this not work out good?
Listen, I'm proud of you guys. I am so proud of you guys. Because when I first started this, I said, you know, it's going to be 5 of us standing out there in the street corner.
Suzanne.
You should grab a sign.
We're glad you came.
So what brought you all the way?
Grab a sign.
I do have a sign.
Because I've been watching people like Joe. I've been watching Hoover. I've been watching Jason and Jay. Everybody.
I really commend you. I really commend you coming all the way from California to participate.
My friend wanted to come too, but she likes
so,
the casinos. I know. I don't like the casinos.
Give me that.
I live in Boulder City. I don't go to the casinos.
They saw this devastating tragedy.
So we got some people, man. We got some people. They're arriving by the minute.
I think you can flip it around.
So far, it worked out pretty well. I've got some Bitcoin and
I don't want me.
There you go.
No, but I don't want me. And you guys don't want me. You guys don't want my ugly face on here. All right.
2.4. But, you know, it's a long game, too. You don't know.
Yeah, my boss was looking into that.
I don't know. Jake's got something going on, and we're meeting up with him. And I wanted to meet up with.
What is it you do?
UFO UK UFO Hunter.
You know what? Like after this is done, or later?
Yeah. Like around 5 o'clock.
You're gonna put something on your Facebook page or anything, just to let people know
about what?
No, I'm
retired. That you're going over there. Or 5 o'clock's the time.
Yeah.
Well, the Mandalay is not going to be 5 o'clock. We're supposed to be leaving here at a certain time today and head over to do the same thing we're doing here, but over by the Mandalay.
In order to justify
not the same event.
Don't know what time.
At the end of all of this is when we're going to go meet up. No, I don't know when we're going to Mandalay. But I'd like for you guys to all come along.
It starts to fit with your picture next to it.
No, we're going to walk around the grounds.
He put a gag with it in a non-Jewish
I want to show you guys
against my son and his attorney.
There's Jake for all of you that are asking.
I have a little mandama stamp. It's going to cost $10,000. You know, justice is expensive, but that $10,000 is good for me. And if he applies one to me, I'll get a second one, and it costs me another $10,000. Here's why. The reason it's good for me is that you can't sue a judge because of an immunity rules that they enjoy. But you can get reimbursed for legal expenses. So I can come out of $20,000. And the Gentile case covers a guy named Gentile in Las Vegas.
Very, very possibly. I looked at that tree too yesterday.
Somebody.
And I don't know. I guess it could happen, but I have no clue. I wouldn't be able to say.
Ellen, they did ask the cab driver. She thinks there was just one shooter.
The day after he gagged the lawyer and my son, making him absolutely livid, furious, I'm sure. Fuck you. I told him that if he finds my son guilty of anything,
yeah.
And it's going to be overturned on appeal.
Well,
it's going to be made into a laughing
guy.
I also stated that if he gags
he puts up stuff like that all the time, and you can see them. You know, which is why I continue to. That's why I continue to keep him up there, because you can see them.
I was in sales and marketing. I probably would have done well this year.
No, you mean the one just recently? Like yesterday or the day before? No, not really, because I saw it on my phone.
Yeah, because it was after you put those pictures up last night.
Yeah, Jake is hosting a meetup at around 5 o'clock. The information's on his YouTube channel.
I haven't been back in there today. I don't know the last time. We used to talk here tonight.
Now I like to teach you.
Okay. Yeah. So why don't we take a walk? I want to take a walk.
Okay.
My favorite thing to do with sales training is to help people with closing, because I understand how to do that under a circumstance most people get confused with. Well, I'd like to think about it. No, I understand. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Discussing is a big issue. But just to help clarify my thinking, what's there to think about? Is it the best way to do it? Yeah. Is it?
I've been watching you for 65 years old. Hey, how's it going? I was at 30 years old.
I saw telecommunication services, software, 5 years ago. Information technology services. I sold high-tech. My biggest single sale was $6 million.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back.
You could hear him go, and I got a ricochet in my knee, but it's all healed up. And that's about all that happened.
So you did take a little fragment in the
in my knee, leg, but it's healed up now. It took a long time.
Is it which knee is it in?
It's my left knee.
Did it leave any kind of a mark or anything there?
I got a little scar.
Little scar.
Some tissue.
Now, for all of the people that say there were no shots fired, nobody got hit, it's all fake, what do you say to that?
It's not fake at all. It was very real, and there was no crisis actors. All that stuff is garbage. And, I just, gosh, there's a lot of. Lost the words. Yeah, just very weird. Thought we were gonna die.
Did you watch the video from Ramirez, Melissa Ramirez? You say you went past her body, Melissa?
Oh yeah, I'm friends with Mike Turber.
Okay.
And I was actually. We became good friends.
Mike will be here in a little bit, actually.
I talked to him.
Okay, well, I haven't talked to you later.
But anyway,
did you see yourself come across in that video?
Yes, me and my wife were in the video.
Oh,
okay.
And I was actually there with Mike talking to the guy that owns the camera. Mm-hmm. He's the one that got the video from the guy that owns it, and then he posted it. And then, yeah, they're dead for sure.
Melissa was dead.
The victim for real.
There was a few others that were shot in the parking lot, but they got pulled over there in that parking lot.
How do you feel about the fact that there was no investigation done there, no crime scene investigation done?
I don't understand why they didn't investigate that, because we actually saw some bullets that actually hit the garage. My wife showed that to Mike, and then he investigated a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then I don't understand why they didn't.
Where were you sitting at? Where were you at? You were in the VIP. Which one of them?
The one that was actually a tent, closest to the Las Vegas Boulevard.
Gotcha. The white tent over there.
And we were the closest to the stage you can get.
Okay.
In the very corner. We could actually look up and see Mandalay Bay.
Wow.
So why didn't you run out? Was there a gate there for VIP?
We wasn't going to go towards Las Vegas Boulevard because that's where it sounded like it was coming from.
Shooter. Just wondering why you ran across that way, because I heard there was a gate open.
as well. So what did you?
Are you guys sick of my
experience?
story yet?
No, not a bit.
Well, I was in the middle. I was to the right of the stage. I don't know how many feet back, but I was right where the catwalk was. There was big speakers in the back. I was to the right of that in the middle. So, and I remember hearing the first sound, it pops, pop, 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 and I looked over, and it was probably 10 feet in front of me, and I looked, and my girlfriend like brushed her arm, and she's like, oh shit, what is that? And she's like, damn firecrackers. And I'm like, that's not, how could that be firecrackers? This is way too crowded. Plus, she didn't see any sparks, so I knew it couldn't be firecrackers. And so, I'm still looking, and everybody else is looking at the stage, and then I glance back at the stage, and all of a sudden, here comes the rapid gunfire. And I see Jason Aldean run off. And from that same area, we hear get down, it's gunfire. And that's when we all jumped. My girlfriend jumped on top of her daughter, I jumped on top of her niece, and we just laid there till it was over. And I don't even think it kind of even registered at that point. It was like, is this really gunfire? And so we thought it was from behind us, which was Mandalay Bay, but who would think it was from above? So we thought it was a whole bunch of people on the ground coming towards us from the back, from the VIP section. And so we're laying there. The next round starts, and now we are like in shock, and we know it is gunfire. It's the same sound, and we just lay there, play dead, and we stayed there again till the next round, third round, and then we hear, here it happens again. We're playing dead, and we're just waiting for a bullet to hit us. And we can hear people. We can hear that noise. People getting hit. Okay, and people are now piled on top of each other, so it's very crowded. And then after that third round, that same guy, same boy, same area, yells, "Run, run!" He's reloading. And that's when everybody started getting up that could get up. I see people taking off, going this way. It took me a little longer. I couldn't, people were pushing me down on the ground. I didn't have my shoes on. I took my boots off, so I was barefoot. I had my flip-flops, but they, fell off. And so we get up, and, as we're running, people are pushing. Now you got to, people are on the ground not getting up. It's still not registering. Why aren't these people getting up? Because you're just like, you're petrified, you're panicked, going, oh my God, what is this? And so right past I'm to the right of the stage, so right to the left, right after the speakers are bar tables. And I think there's two, I'm not sure. But the very first one, the fourth round starts. And everybody's just, climbing underneath. And so the people I was with, let's get in. So we get under this table. It is jam-packed. The girl, I felt bad for her because she ended up being out at the end where, she's now not underneath the table. She's in the back. She goes, you guys are pushing me out. And we're just like, we can't move. I mean, all your bodies are just pinned up. So there's a guy next to us that's shot in the chest. We're like, we didn't know what to do, but there was a girl that was a nurse helping him, they said. And so we stayed underneath, and now it starts back up, and now it's louder and it's closer. And you can hear, just...
What do you mean by it's louder and closer?
The sound is loud, and it's closer. Now it's come closer. The sound of bullets are now closer. Before it was in a distance, now it's closer.
Okay, so the sound of bullets like striking the floor, or the sound of the gunfire? It's two different sounds.
The gunfire, but the bullets also, because now I can hear the bullets hitting behind us and on, around us, and I can hear them in front of the ground.
The pavement, right?
Yeah. Well, it was because it was pavement right there, and then you had the AstroTurf in front of it.
Does that suggest a second shooter?
If there's, I don't know what the guns were used, but
Did you ever think that there was somebody, that the shooter was not at the Mandalay area? Was there at any given point that you say, no, wait a minute, I remember feeling like I was being shot at from point A to point B.
No, I mean, the first one was different, for sure. The second, the third laying down there seemed a little bit different, but once I got under the table, it just seemed like it got closer and louder, and it sounded like it wasn't behind me, you know, it was definitely in front of me, it was to the sides to a point.
And where was the Mandalay?
Straight ahead.
Right
if
in
I
front
was
of
to
you.
look out of the table, I would see the Mandalay.
Gotcha.
So it was just straight ahead. And I kept wanting to leave. I said, let's go, you know, and the guy that was at the end of the table, he was at the end, and he had where the crease was, where the covering is, he could see what was going on. And he kept saying, no, we can't go yet. And I'm just like, where are the cops? Where are the police? You know, because now I'm thinking, wait a minute, because you're thinking they're on the ground, but if they're on the ground, why haven't they come in and rushed him yet? And it's like, well, where are they? This is weird,
right.
You know. And then at 10:40, and this is I was telling him earlier, this is what I don't understand. Apparently, the gunfire stopped at, they said 10:15. We were there till 10:40 underneath that table. There is no way we sat there for 25 minutes without gunfire and decided, oh, we're just going to sit here, because not one person underneath that table said, let's go, let's run. It stopped. I mean, I think maybe if 10 minutes had gone by, we might have said, you know, 10 minutes. There's no gunfire.
What do you base your time frame on again? What did you look at
I called when we were told by security and got out of there. When I was running, I phoned my daughter, and the timestamp on that is 10:42. So I know that's when I got out of there, because I was still running in the venue when I made that call.
So you have a timestamp.
Yes.
And based on that, you can estimate that there was gunfire going beyond 10:15 based on.
You know what? If I had to swear under oath, I would swear under oath. I really would. And I think that a lot of people under those tables, why wouldn't one of them, somebody say, wow, you know what, it stopped for a while, let's go. We had a guy shot in the chest. We wanted him out of there. So, but he was still there, nobody left. Nobody budged until they told us to run.
So I'll ask the same question. Based on your personal observations, can you unequivocally state that people really were shot and it was not a fake event?
Oh no, it was not a fake event. No, I saw people shot. I had a ricochet also, I think it was, I don't know, the next day, when we on our way back, I had a welt on my arm like about this big, and I have it on my computer at home, but it was like this big, and it raised, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I didn't even think about it until like 3 days later, you know, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't have that night, and it, you know, I had it the next day, so no, I mean, you know, my girlfriend, she was at the table, we separated because she took one way, I took another way. I had to catch up to the girl I was with, her niece, so I went to the right and ran after her as I'm being pushed, and I finally caught up to her. Well, they took off one way, she got underneath the table, and another girl ran underneath the table with her, and she was shot in the face, and she grabbed paper towels, put them up against her face and her pants the next day, because she ran to Hooters. So she ended up in Hooters in a bathroom, locked in a bathroom. They didn't let anybody in. They stayed there till like 4 o'clock in the morning. So they got out, and she went to a friend of theirs house, and they gave her some sweatpants, and she showed back up holding her pants, and they were soaked. So I think at first when I heard that there were other shootings in other places, I thought maybe it was people that were frantic, you know, but I don't know how you can hear bullets in any casino with with the door shut and the machines going off. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible.
Okay.
So does that make you think that what would your conclusion be, or your guess to explain that? How people were hearing gunshots, or reporting hearing gunshots further down the street?
Well, I believe there was more going on that they're covering up, that they don't want us, that they're sticking to their, you know, lone gunman story. So, and I think they're sticking to it, and so everything else is like pushed off to the side. You know, and my cousin had to come and pick somebody up that was in the venue right afterwards, and she's like, oh my God, you know, you need to come pick me up. We were just shot at. Well, I think it took her like 20 minutes to get there, but she's like, the strip is completely open. You know, she's like, they just let me right in during the gunfire. And she's like, why? You know, she goes, and then later, through, you know, in the morning, like, it was closed. You know, and she said, that's just odd that they would let us through. And she goes, I just, you know, and then there was one police officer. She came across and she says, oh, I'm just going to pick up my friend over here, you know, and he goes, oh, go ahead. You know?
You're a resident here?
No. I come here every year for Route 91. I have cousins here.
So where are you guys from, if you don't mind me saying?
California.
California, beautiful.
Yes.
So you're from California and you're here that day, and what is your personal, you know, if you had to guess, were they more than one, or do you believe that there's just one shooter in the Mandalay?
Okay,
and I heard what you just said,
okay.
But
Okay.
I think what I want you to be is I think what I want from you is like maybe your personal, because what I'm getting from you is that you don't believe the lone man.
No.
But at all times when you were getting shot at, you were getting shot at from the Mandalay.
The direction. Now, I don't know.
The direction of the
I can't-
Mandalay.
Okay, if I was to give it a span, I mean, I'm not saying it just, I heard it straight from the Mandalay. I'm saying you could hear it because while it's in front of you, you can hear shots to your right and to your left. So
do you think there was more than one shooter?
I do, yes.
Did you say that?
I believe there was more
Okay, so
than one.
while you were staring at the Mandalay, you can hear shots from the right and from the left of you. Did I hear that right?
It felt like, it felt like it just wasn't coming from like straight ahead one window.
Okay, so
it felt like, I don't know, do you agree? It felt like it was like
it felt like
to your right, to your left.
Yes, that's right.
But I wouldn't say it was to my right, way over here, like people are saying in some of the videos.
Right.
You know, so that's why I'm trying to say that I know it wasn't behind me. That's a fact.
Okay, so behind you is away from the Mandalay.
Yes.
Correct.
Behind me is to the left of the stage.
Okay. Later on that day.
Yes.
Whatever, 20, 25 minutes later, you're out from underneath that table.
Right.
Where do you go from there?
Well, we were staying at the Luxor, and when we ran out, they wanted us to go towards Hooters, but the girl that we were with, she was on the phone with her dad, he's a police officer, and he says, get inside somewhere. We ran to MGM.
Police officer here?
No, California. And so we ran to MGM, which nobody knew anything that was going on.
Right,
And
so
we
you
just,
went
like,
to MGM.
We went to MGM and got in a room. So.
Gotcha. And then that's it.
And then
During the rest of the night, you personally did not hear any more gunshots?
No. I was filming out my window. You know, I did see SWAT come in at 10:32.
Into the MGM?
Yes.
10:32, okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm sorry, 12:32.
12:32, okay.
12:32, and I thought, that's odd. Why are they still coming in?
Why didn't SWAT go into Paddock's room? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Where was the SWAT team?
Well, this SWAT team was coming
Maybe they
into
were at the MGM.
That's why I was confused.
Right, but that's 12:30. Like, wouldn't SWAT be there?
12:30.
I mean, this is a serious situation. Like, I think not enough attention has been on where is the SWAT team that night and why weren't they at Paddock's? Why was it this like ad hoc group of people rather than the SWAT team?
Why were, better question, why were we told it was a SWAT team when it really wasn't? Because that's what the sheriff said. And he corrected himself time and time over again. He said, it's a SWAT team.
Okay, so why, this is from a survivor's point of view, why, if you knew you didn't do anything for an hour and whatever it was, so why, if you knew that, you didn't go in the room, you didn't rush in, you didn't do anything, you just waited because you knew that he wasn't going to shoot anymore. Okay, so you knew he wasn't going to shoot anymore. Why aren't you down at the venue helping us?
Right.
Why is there nobody there? I mean, if you knew that wasn't, you guys were, it was safe, well, why are all these people, bleeding to death?
Well, I think by that time they were probably already attending, because we're talking now an hour and something into the time frame, right? When the SWAT team finally goes in there.
But well, I don't know what time. I heard they weren't even on the venue till later.
I've heard so many stories coming from Lombardo. I don't know what's up or down anymore. Is this even Vegas? That's what I want to know.
But okay, so but the store. No, they thought right after the gunfire had stopped. Okay, so which is their timeline is what, 10:15?
Yeah, but wait a minute. Let's look at the first timeline. The first timeline, the police arrive right at the same time the security guard, which arrives with the police, and in the midst of arrival, there's a shootout from Paddock's room, and they strike the security guard on the leg.
Right, yeah.
So they strike the security guard on the leg, okay? And so now the security guard is a hero all throughout national television and on his way to the White House for the Congressional Medal of Honor. And then we find out that the security guard actually got shot 6 minutes before it all took place. And the police were nowhere to be found because they had no clue that bullets had been fired on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay for 6 minutes. Because the first time the police knows about the shooting, right, is when cops at the venue say, we're getting shot at, on the radio. So that's the first time they find out about it. And that's 6 minutes from the time the Campos got shot upstairs.
Right.
Okay? So now it takes the police 6 more minutes after that. If we just give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? I'm not sure the guy's name is Lombardo, but just giving him the benefit of the doubt that his name really is Lombardo and that it really took 6 minutes after the first volley of gunfire. That's 12 minutes for the cops to find where he is shooting from. Because 11 minutes from the time that Campos got shot, 11 minutes after that, there's a cop that goes on the radio and says, I'm on the 31st floor and I can hear the gunshots coming from a floor above me. So that's 11 minutes, and it takes him about another minute to get to that floor above him. So that's a whole full 12 minutes, and now it's when we finally find out where the guy is at. So who dialed 911? When did they dial 911? How did they ever get to 911? 911. Why, if they did dial 911, why didn't the police dispatcher ever say to the cops, oh, we know where it's coming from. We just received the call. So there's just a lot. But you know my story. I wanted to know your story.
Well, you know.
Besides everything you just told me, is there anything?
My point that 15 minutes, right after when they knew, there wasn't apparently any gunfire for a while, you know, and you hear on dispatch, you hear him say, forget them, we've got to get this guy, which, okay, I understand, you need to get this guy to keep, you know, him to stop shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But from that time, he's apparently stopped.
Yeah.
Where, why aren't they in the venue?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't get that. They should at least had some in the venue coming in.
Yeah, it's all lies.
You know? There was
all
none
just a bunch
when
of lies.
I took off.
It's just all a bunch of lies. Besides all of this, is there anything, one thing particular, one thing that you say to yourself, I am convinced, Joe, that there was another shooter because of this, and I didn't want to say it, but I'm going to tell it. No?
Okay, no, well, the one thing
you think I'm going to think you're crazy.
Okay.
Okay.
No, the one thing at first when I was in the middle of that, okay, and this is why at first I thought, what? Okay, this is what I tried to convince myself about one shooter. During each break, during each round, there wasn't any more shooting going on. You know, and I'm thinking this has to be, that's weird. But if there were more shooters, why didn't I hear it? But then I started thinking, well, wait a minute. There's too much going on during during the rounds for it to be one shooter.
Right.
You know, you would think that you would hear it come from, if he's spraying, you would think you would hear it come around and go back or whatever. You didn't hear that. It's like you heard it just all around.
Right.
So
if he's spraying, you were there. You know better than I do. how close were you all standing together that if he was spraying, do you think all these people here would have gotten hit?
Yeah, see, and it doesn't make sense because if he was spraying, it would have been like a row of people.
Right.
You know, and it wasn't.
I'm thinking.
No, and you could hear it in different spots. At the same time, you can hear it to your right, you can hear it to your left, you can hear it in front, you can hear it hitting things, and it's like...
You know what 58 people look like.
Yeah.
Right? There's about how many of us here?
Right.
Okay? So if we all gather together, and a guy stands over there and starts shooting over with a machine gun, you know? Now add, I don't know, how many people do you think were there? You were there.
Yeah. Are you talking about at the concert?
Yeah, right there in that section where you were at eyesight.
Looking out in the crowd.
Yeah, like right there. Like if you were to look over your right shoulder, take yourself back there again.
Well,
if you're looking in front of you. Oh, so you're way over.
So
okay.
we can't look to his right.
So you're looking straight ahead, and what do you?
Oh gosh, thousands of people. I don't even know.
Right there in front of you.
Yeah.
And somebody spraying in there. What do you think would be like the numbers?
A lot more than
58, right?
Yeah, a lot more.
I just don't see it. I see, even when I look at videotape, right? And I'm examining, and in some videos, you could actually see some bullets striking the floor. So by the way, I don't believe any of this was fake. In fact, I believe that people needed to get hurt, okay? They needed to get hurt, okay? But we'll talk about that on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta tune in for that one. Anyways. Even when you look at the bullet strikes on the floor, you hear but then like one bullet strike. You're like zoom in, you slow it down, you want to see another bullet strike anywhere in the 100 yards of video that you have, but you don't. And I just don't get that. I just can't figure that out.
Didn't they say there was 1,100 casings found in his room or something like that?
I don't see that on pictures either.
I mean, they said something about 1,100 casings, and if you had 500 people wounded, that would be every other bullet hit somebody.
Yeah.
If there was 1,100 casings, right?
Well, if all injuries came from a bullet strike.
Right, exactly.
And you know, most of those people were stuck in the area we were at. I mean, there were no exits. You had to go behind you, and you had to run. I'll tell you the reason I'm talking is because I'm hoping that more survivors will come out, because I do know for a fact there are videos nobody has seen, there are stories that nobody has heard, heard. We probably have seen and heard a lot because we are survivors. We have groups, and it's a family now. I mean, we are a family, and it's a new place for them to feel safe and talk to each other. But I wish they would come forward.
Do you know the Vegas Memorial on the Strip? Do you know if they gave all the crosses and stuff to the survivors that were there?
I heard they moved them. I don't know. I thought they moved them somewhere else.
We went to the memorial over here on Commerce, and all those crosses aren't there. So that looks like
I remember. Right. I'm sure they gave them. I heard. I thought they were going to go somewhere else.
Crying out loud, they have all the answers. We don't, they do. Yeah, for sure. For sure, if it was true, if everything you're telling me is true, show it to me. Crying out loud. Just 1, 2, 3 pictures. Just a video clip that big. And don't tell me this is an investigation, because you've done it before a million times. I go back in history and I can show you how many times, how many incidents. Look at the New York bombing. Within 30 minutes, we have the guy blowing up in front of us. For crying out loud, whether there was no investigation there, they're full of crap. Patrick, how are you?